I thought that's what you meant. Like when to start, so like when. Or when I hit the button. When? Yeah, I hit the button. The win has happened. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing today? Happy Saturday. Good to see you guys. Yes, we are here. Welcome in. Good to see you. Get locked in. Get locked in because we got some good stuff we're going to talk about today. All right. I think I think the live is up and rolling. I think the chat's good. If you guys are up there, good to see you guys. Welcome in. So, Again, a really quick and easy free way for you guys to help support this channel as we are trying to grow this channel. One, of course, is to hit the like button, and also, of course, you guys subscribe to the channel so you guys can get the content as we try to get through this. So, occasionally on Saturdays we'll pop in, but I can't make a guarantee that every time on Saturdays we'll be here. But definitely we're going to aim for our Tuesdays and Thursdays for sure to be more regular and up to speed with everything here. So I'll give it a few more moments before we really get into the nitty gritty. Few people to get in here. Also, if you guys could share this out on your social media, you know, the messenger and all that, share it with some people. You never know who might pop in and enjoy the show. That's what it's all about, to share the message with like-minded individuals, especially those who who stand on truth. So if you like truth, and if you like hearing the truth and all that, that's what you're going to get here. I'm not one of those that's going to tell you a whole gaslit type of story. I'm going to tell you the truth and the way that I'm seeing it, with truth being centered, and all of that is centered around Christ, ladies and gentlemen. So to start everything off, just want to say Christ is King, and we are going to center ourselves with nothing but truth when we're looking at some of the things that we are looking into as we do this live stream. All right. Tonight, I'm not going to be going like a full script or anything like that. I'm just going to be bringing up some cool stuff, and it's going to be a little bit more chill. All right. So more time for you guys to kind of engage with us and share your perspective as well as we build this live stream. Because I want to give everybody a chance to, you know, share their perspective and stuff too, and some of the things that are happening that they're noticing as we're all going through this wonderful journey called life. So with that, yeah, I didn't read none of that. I wouldn't read none of that or nothing like that. So that was actually just me. I was sending out the show on Messenger to a bunch of people, see if they would like to join. You know, you never know. So if you guys did catch the last live stream that we did here, we talked about the data centers and stuff like that, and we kind of looked into what it is this Stratos project is, right? And it's pretty interesting if you ask me. As a matter of fact, I believe that more people should be looking into it. So if you guys have not looked into it, we will dive into it a little bit tonight. We're going to briefly look into it, not too much, but you guys can look at the last live stream where I went down and I pulled up their documents that they proposed to the local county government there in Utah. All right, so this did get approved and things like that. And Kevin O'Leary, he's one of the lead investors in this. That's the guy from Shark Tank. So I need you guys to understand some of the nature of what is at stake and at bat here when it comes to that one particular project. Now, mind you, the United States of America has thousands of data centers already. And what's going to be built is even bigger than anything that's ever been built before. So I don't want you guys to get confused when they start talking about, well, this administration is giving us the best, biggest infrastructure build ever. Yes, that is true, but at a cost. And these data centers seem to be coming at a really significant resource cost that are having to be now allocated to a resource or a data center. So that's something that people are kind of question when you realize that they're going to allocate our natural resources for a data center. Wait a minute. And he's saying Kevin O'Leary is only talking about 2,000 jobs coming out of this project. Now, I need you guys to understand what that really means. And we're going to really get into that here tonight. Oh, my back is a little tight tonight, but it's okay. I was cutting the grass earlier, so I probably should have stretched. I'm getting older now. So again, welcome back, you guys. This is the 16th of May, 2026. My name is Anthony Triplett, as you guys can see right here. There is my name. Everybody calls me Trip if you know me. I wanted to share this with you guys here tonight on our Saturday show. Our producer, Becca, is here in the chat as well, so she'll be moderating as well as keeping us copacetic, making sure we stay on cue and on task. But I wanted to share you guys a personal story, actually, some reflection that has happened within my own life. And we're going to talk about that: accountability, Christ, the Stratos discernment, and of course, my favorite, hypocrisy. So welcome back again. If you guys are just getting here, please tap that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. We're trying to build this channel up. Let's get into it, because tonight is different. Tonight is not just about any politics that we've talked about in the past. All right. It's not just culture. It's not just technology. This is how everything comes together. It's called accountability. All right. I know you guys have heard it. I know you guys have preached it. At the end of the day, it's called accountability for a reason. Integrity. All right. And we have to sit back and we have to ask ourselves some serious questions, at least one serious question. All right. And I had to think about this earlier because I had a real conversation when we're thinking about all of these organizations, our government, all of these different nonprofit NGOs, big business corporations and whatnot. If at the end of the day, if Jesus were to walk into your boardroom right now, if he were to walk into your office right now, we have to ask this simple question: would he start flipping tables? Would Jesus flip your table right now? And I think a lot of people could sit back and ask themselves that same question. Whether that is your personal life, your professional life, a combination of both, whatever your end goal and outcome is, you got to ask yourself, would Jesus start flipping tables if he walked in here right now? Right now. So think about that. Think about that as we continue through tonight. We're going to be wrapped around in Christ, ladies and gentlemen. I am a Christian. For those of you who do not know, I do deeply try to value everything that we're going through in our lives centered in Christ. I'm not afraid to share that and show that and express where it is I'm getting my reflection from. Because at the end of the day, when God speaks to you, when Jesus speaks to you, you're going to listen. You're going to listen. Because at the end of the day, I know for a fact that Christ is King and Christ is real, and it's going to tell you a message that is undeniable. And when you feel it in your bones and you feel it in your skin, you're going to listen to what it is God is telling you. And if you've ever had an experience like that, I guarantee you know exactly what it is I'm talking about. And every step of the way, I guarantee you've also had Jesus or God tell you specifically to be accountable, hold yourself accountable with integrity and truth. At the end of the day, because if it's true, no matter how good the outcome and no matter how bad the outcome, if what is said is true, no matter the outcome, it's meant to be. Hands down. If what is said is true, no matter how good or bad the outcome, it's meant to be. Okay, because I did have a dream this week, all right? This is a real life situation that I am going to share with you guys tonight in a way that I don't know, I've never shared something like this. But this is true, because if you followed me on Facebook or something like that, you've probably seen some of the local drama some people have called it on between the sheriff and I, and standing up for one of my buddies that I currently work with, and the point is that somebody very close to me, Becca actually, very close to me, told me something very straightforward to me, which made me take some reflection. And instead of me getting angered at what was said about how I was reacting and responding to many, and maybe some of you, she made me realize and go back to realizing I'm no better. And I went to sleep really thinking about this. Like, you're no better than the people that you're talking to. So get your stuff together. And then I really went to sleep, right? I went to sleep with that mindset, and Jesus came to me in my dream. And he chewed me out. He chewed me out because my ego at the time was starting to get the best of me. But just as he chewed me out, he brought me in and told me, stay the course. That's really important. So here's what happened. I went to sleep, and Jesus comes to me. I'm standing there on the outside. It looked like I was standing near like a dock or a harbor or something like that, where they have like the metal bars and you can oversee like the water. And I was just sitting there looking at the water, and he comes up to me and he said, I need to get something straight with you. Like he didn't pause or nothing. He just, I need to get something straight with you. I use your body as the vessel, not the other way around. Don't get it twisted. I will never forget. He said, don't get it twisted. Do not get this twisted. Now get back to work. That happened, and I swear I woke up. It seemed like it was just a few seconds in the dream. It seemed like it was a few seconds. But apparently that was the entirety of my night sleep. I woke up, my legs were sweating like I had never sweat before. And I woke up and I had the chills. I was like, wow, like this is something. This is something, because at the end of the day, the message is clear. All right. Don't let this ego fool you. Okay. I will use you to get the message and the work done, not the other way around. So don't be trying to use my name to twist your message, is what I was getting at. When the time is right, the message will come out. So I want to share that with you, because I do believe that we are living in a time where Christ will come back and will talk to you individually if you are true and are trying to bear real fruit, because he said you will recognize the real ones through the fruit that they bear. Jesus said that, not me. You will recognize them by their fruit. This is what Jesus said, not what I say. And that is so true. That is so true. It's not about individual men, women, or anything like that. This is about the truth. The truth. The ego can oftentimes get us into a place where we think we're speaking through convictions. We think we're speaking through scripture or through Christ. But at the end of the day, it's majority filled with ego. And he's not going to stop. He's going to tell you, keep pushing, but check yourself. He's going to tell you, keep pushing, but you need to check yourself. Don't get it twisted, is what he said. He said, he's going to speak to you how you need to be spoken to. He said, don't get it twisted. Okay? Today we have so many people that are actually tending to other people's garden, and that's the next thing I want to get into when it comes to this. There are so many people in the world, myself included, that have spent time and time and time again tending to other people's garden. Whether that's in your job, your personal life, I guarantee you understand what I mean, especially if you are a Christian. But when you spend all of your time tending to somebody else's garden, you often abandon your own. And there are too many men, specifically men I'm talking to right now. And this is my opinion. This is my perspective. This is how I see things. But I believe that there are too many men right now that are trying to save the world online, while they neglect their own households and everything in their household is falling apart. We've seen it. You've seen it. We've seen it happen. I've been there myself. But when you flip the script and start focusing on the fruit in your own garden, the yield is going to be magnificent. It's going to be great. It's going to be something spectacular, because at the end of the day, Christ said, not me, Christ said, you will know them by their fruit. Period. That's enough for me. Like it doesn't make it makes so much sense. Christ said you will know them by their fruit. So I'm over here hitting the mic, like hitting the mic. Sorry, y'all. But that's the truth, okay? So here's the thing: when it comes to your garden, right? God created man and woman, of course, to work together. Now, here's where things get misconstrued in today's society because not many people are out there with a real garden in their backyard. So their garden has become their home, their jobs, their business, whatever the case is. But when man and woman are put together, they can create a wonderful garden should they both tend to the garden. Because that's how God designed it. The issue a lot of us have is you leave your woman there to tend to the garden that you're supposed to both be tending to while tending to somebody else's garden. Well, she can't pull all the weeds, and she shouldn't have to be pulling all of the weeds by herself to begin with. So sometimes you have to shift the focus from where you want to be and go back to your garden. That doesn't mean you neglect all of the other things that you were accomplishing out there while you were tending to others' garden. But if your garden is starting to get weeds overtaken and your woman is over there pulling them out by herself, you got to get on your hands and knees and start pulling weeds too. You can take that metaphorically for whether that's your business, your home, your family, whatever the case is, the point remains the same. God created man and woman to tend to their garden together. Period. That's how it's written. That's how it's written. Okay, so that applies to all of us. Women too? Now, I'm not saying that women can't run their own garden, but it's designed in a way. God has a beautiful design and does not make mistakes. We just have to take into consideration. We've tried, it seems many of us have tried the other ways, and they have always led us to wondering and questioning more things. But there is one thing I know for sure, that if I follow Christ and follow the book, I haven't had to question a single thing. That's the fact. I haven't had to question a single thing since actually getting close to Christ. You don't have to question anything. He has an answer for every single thing. Every single thing. Because we're supposed to pull the weeds together. Once you pull them weeds, your harvest will actually yield good fruit. And then you're going to be able to take that fruit and start planting more seeds and build a bigger and better garden. That's how God's design is created for all of us. It's really simple, but see, they want to complex things out with all this science and all this hootenanny out there. But the reality is that we have an opportunity to show each other the real fruit that we're yielding. And if you're not yielding fruit, it's not too late to start yielding fruit. Okay, honestly, we can ask each other and debate online, is too complex this, is too complex that, or whatever. The reality is many of us, myself included, just have to start doing instead of just talking. Period. Point blank, period. Don't get it twisted is what he said to me. Don't get it twisted. So that's the thing. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that you're too good to go mop a floor and help somebody else out where they need to be helped out. I've been there. But at the end of the day, if you're doing that and you're able to build and yield real fruit off of that, who's to say that any other way is better? Why? Because the suit and ties are doing fancy dinners and showing you this way? That doesn't mean that it's better. That's the right way. That's just a way to do it. That is a way to do it. And every single thing that they have been doing has been rooted in evil. But Christ will show you it doesn't matter what clothes you're wearing, where you come from, what your past looks like. If you're yielding real fruit and doing better now, that is what counts. That's how you're supposed to judge somebody, based on their character and what they're doing, their actions, what they're doing in real time. Not what they did in the past, what they affiliated themselves with in the past, what they said in the past. Specifically, those who just put their entire they put their entire perspective of you because they are on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever the case is. But that's such a small portion of people's actual lives. So you have to be real mature and ask yourselves, like, do you really know these people? Before you make these judgments and things like that, do you really know them? Because it's too easy for anybody to follow a trend and judge people based on what they see online. But their online behavior does not necessarily dictate everything that they're doing in real life. It's 2026 and we should be able to have that discernment and be able to see the difference between the two, but many people forgot that. I've forgotten it at a time or two myself, and that's why I go back to the book. There's only one actual book that I need to, or excuse me, there's many books in there, but you get the picture. You get the picture. It applies all the way around, whether it's friendships, politics, relationships, our business relationships, ourselves. It applies no matter which way you want to look at it, because the real love is truth, and truth will always, always set you free, period. Period. The truth will always set you free. Okay? I don't care who you are, where you are. If what you say is true, no matter how good the outcome, no matter how bad the outcome, if what you say is true, whatever the outcome is meant to happen, period. Period. Because Christ said, this is not my words, okay? Christ said this stuff. All right? You have to walk with real integrity, real truth. Leadership has to set boundaries, period. Real leadership. But I think people have Christ misconstrued. Like he wasn't out here walking with the sinners and the worst kind of people who were cast out into society. Okay, Christ wasn't walking with the suits and ties, the status quo. He wasn't going to fancy dinners. Christ walked with the low of the low. He even washed their feet to show that he was no better than they were. No one of us are any better than any single person on this earth, period. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much status you have, how many businesses you have, how many nice clothes or cars or fancy houses. None of that. You can't take any of that with you if you are trying to get into the kingdom of heaven. You can't. Because if you're trying to get into the kingdom of heaven, I know first and foremost, I'm not going to do anything to disrupt me trying to get there. Because this life is temporary. This is temporary. We're supposed to gain as much knowledge and insight as we can in this form. But God has a whole thing else for us out there, but we got to be worthy enough to get there. And it's so simple. If you're authentic enough, he shows you there is a way. There is a way. It's really simple. Okay? And this is the part of the message I really want to get into, because it's probably one of my favorite messages when it comes to Christ, okay? Because a lot of people love the truth, right? They love justice, they love integrity, they love truth, they love all of that until they have to accept, well, what is true, right? Well, let's break that down a little bit. Let's break it down a little bit, because these are the things that Christ said, not me. Integrity walks away from things that no longer align with what's right. Period. If it's not right and you actually have integrity, you are not going to continue walking that path. Naturally, you are going to deter yourself from the things that are not right. Okay? Naturally. If you actually stand on truth, you're going to distance yourself from the things that are not right. If you have truth. But at the end of the day, everybody has Christ misconstrued like he was so perfect and he wouldn't talk like this and say this. Let me tell you something really quick. Because when it came to hypocrisy and doing right by people, he was not afraid to stand up to the system or powers that be and flip a few tables. So that's why I asked you earlier, if Jesus walked into your house right now, would he start flipping tables? Look at the conditions that we have in 2026 in your own home. If he walked into your home this very minute, would he start flipping tables in your house, or would he tell you to stay the course and walk with me? That's the question I think a lot of people should be asking themselves, especially when they look around and see so much chaos and bad in the world. Okay, well, what are you doing? Specifically, what are you doing right now to fix what is going on in your area? That's what I want to know. What are you doing specifically right now, this moment, this week? What are you doing in your community right now to fix things? Or are you waiting for somebody else to fix it for you, some suit and tie to fix it for you? Because if you wait for the system to fix it, you're gonna get system results. Period. Period. If you wait for the system to fix it, you're gonna get system results. Period. And the system has not provided any decent results in 200 years. This system specifically has not provided positive results for the people in 200 years. Period. Christ will show you how to step up to these powers that be by standing on one thing and one thing alone, and that is truth. It's really simple. If you are able to stand on truth, you will be able to call out hypocrisy even within your own self. You're going to be able to call out corruption. You're going to be able to call out deception. You're going to be able to call out fake righteousness, Erica. Erica. You'll be willing to call it out. I'm gonna give you guys our first verse of the evening. This is from Matthew 21:12. Ladies and gentlemen, it says, and Jesus says this, okay? This talks about Jesus, okay? Matthew 21:12 says Jesus entered the temple and drove out those exploiting inside it. He confronted performance without integrity. He confronted performance without integrity. So those were the people. He drove out those exploiting people inside of it. So I really want you to ask yourselves tonight, as you guys are watching this or sharing this or anything right now, would Jesus flip your table right now? And I'm not talking to you guys down. I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. I'm not above him flipping tables. I guarantee that if he found a few tables of mine, he'd start flipping. Especially this week. But before he came to flip one of my tables, he just told me simply, don't get it twisted. Now get back to work. That means something. Because I'm actually yielding real fruit in my own community. So when people want to talk like it can't be done, it's too complex, let me tell you, it can be done. One day at a time, one moment at a time, it's possible. But you have to do it. And you start with truth. You start with truth, integrity. That will take you exactly where you need to go. And if you're ever confused, Christ tells you, he's got a whole book about it. He got a few books about it. You guys can go through. The Gospels will tell you specifically, there is not a single thing in life that I have not been able to revert back to that is in that book. Make sure I didn't break it there. We all have habits, addictions, egos, excuses. We all make excuses. We all have other priorities. But the reality is many people, and I see it too, will spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day on social media, but won't spend 10 minutes to go ahead and research a real topic on something that they might be benefiting from. Like data centers popping up in your community. Like extra taxes on selling your home or stuff like that. Options that people could take, but they don't know anything about because they're too busy talking about who did what online. We won't take 10 minutes to go ahead and research the county or city meeting that's going on proposing extra taxes on this or that. But we're the first ones to complain that things are too expensive. But during the process or during the record time, didn't even show up not once. That's the truth. That's the truth. You guys got AI and every single thing that we use nowadays. You guys can ask it to tell you exactly when the county and city meetings are, and you guys can join via Zoom, every single one of you. There's no reason that they should not be flooded every single week that they do these meetings. There's no reason. There's no reason. No reason at all. Y'all want to take 10 minutes to go on there and look at the meeting. I'm just calling it how it is. He told me to get back to work and start saying the truth, period. Accountability starts with our own self-reflection. That's why I came into you guys and shared my own story. Specifically, if you followed me on Facebook, then you saw me also do a public apology for some of the things that I had said to some of the people in my own community about a hot topic. I'm not going to get into those details here because it's not for this. You guys can find that yourselves if you guys follow me over there. But at the end of the day, it's not secret. I didn't take it down for a reason. So people can see growth in real time. That's the whole point. That's called accountability. Being willing to look at oneself and actually reflect on some of the things that they do right and wrong. Specifically if you're a man. And I believe that men need to speak up more than the women are speaking up on a lot of these issues that we are having in our own counties, in our own communities, in our own cities. Because there are real projects that are going on within our own cities across the United States. And it's going to take real men to step up and say no. That doesn't mean always with force, but many people have to learn the system. If you don't even know how the system operates, you have no room to talk. You have no room to talk about voting doesn't work if you don't even know how the actual system actually works. Period. If you don't even know who your county commissioners are, who your city councilmen are, who the legislatures in your district are, and if they don't know you by name, you're not involved. Point blank, period. You're not involved at all. I don't care what it is that you are doing online, talking about, hosting what group. If the leaders that we elect to represent us in our regions, in our communities, do not know who you are not involved. I'm just going to call it for how it is, because there is a process to how these things work. And if people understood the process more than the lobbyists do, things would change for the better of the people. The problem is that the people don't ever show up until it's something that is real specific. And then a social media influencer or somebody tries to highlight it and get some backing. But it should be like that every single week for every single issue that's going on in your areas. They already turned politics into the Hollywood Housewives. I don't know why y'all ain't tuning into the stuff that's happening in your own city. It's so bad that the majority of people don't even understand how local taxes work or how taxes in general work. It is so bad. And you see that every single day because people are still doing the same old status quo things. But we'll want to blame a certain entity or person for why things are wrong, but won't even look into why things are actually wrong in their region. There is a reason that different states are having different gas prices. There's a reason that different states, different counties at that, are able to do different breaks on property when you're selling or buying. These are real things. This is like what's going on in Box Elder County in Utah. This is not a conspiracy. This is real life stuff. So our first official topic of the evening is, of course, the Box Elder County Stratos Project info. Now, you guys need to understand this, okay? What you don't know, and if you looked at the video I did last time, we went through their documents, right? But here's what's happening. Investors like Kevin O'Leary, the guy from Shark Tank, are investing in this 40,000 acre space of land, which takes up many parcels of that land, by the way, in Box Elder County, Utah. All right. This is the problem that people are having. They're taking up that land to build this massive, the biggest data center in the United States. Okay. The biggest data center in the United States is being built in Box Elder County, Utah. 40,000 acres for a data center. That is insane. There's already reported concerns that the project is going to require 9 gigawatts of power, potentially exceeding the state's current energy consumption levels. So right now, without the data center, the entire state of Utah does not use as much energy as that data center is going to be using. Oh, it gets worse. There's more concerns about the emissions, the energy generation, the environmental concerns tied to the water, the gas that's being pushed. Because I looked through their documents, I looked through their records, and yes, they are going to be rerouting natural resources to do the data centers. Oh, yes, they do. Then they need lots of water for what they're trying to propose in this 40,000 acre data center. Would you guys like for me to pull up the information for you to see so you can see it for yourself? Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's do this because I had to do this last week and show you. Because you guys can sit there and talk like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you the truth. Boom! Let's go straight to it. The Box Elder County. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. So check this out. Right here, we are live. We're looking at their project. Box Elder County. This is in Utah, the Stratos Project. All right. Box Elder County Public Questionnaire. Look, you guys can put your own questions right here. Fill out your little thing and put your comments and concern. This will be on the record. Okay. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell you to flood it. I'm just saying that if you live in Box Elder County, Utah, or you know somebody there, this is where you need to go. All right. Box Elder County, UT.gov. It's right there. Box Elder County, UT.gov. Go to their projects. You can just type in the Stratos Project on Google and it'll take you there. Okay? This is all information that you guys need to see. So check this out. You're going to see the meeting recordings right here, the project map. I'm going to go to the project map and show you guys this because you don't believe me. 40,000 acres. Okay? This is real. 40,000 acres for one massive data center, ladies and gentlemen. That should concern every single person here. Because here's what you don't know. You think more than likely that this data center is privately owned, right? Because it's a privately funded thing, like by individuals like Kevin O'Leary. Well, here's the reality, ladies and gentlemen, okay? The truth is this is going to be a military installation. I know this because I got the documents. I downloaded them. Okay? This is going to be a military installation. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is privately funded. And you do not get access to that data. You don't. You don't. Just so you're aware. You don't get any access to that data. As a matter of fact, here you go. Box Elder County, the attorney's contact information. This is all public information about about this specific project. Okay? I need you guys to understand how important this is, because these projects don't just pop up where people are able to they're not able to pop up without public input. They have to follow the county guidelines and laws and everything like that, right? But here's the reality. Here is the reality when it comes to, oh, what the heck did I do? Oops. Let's go back that way. Here's the reality when it comes to this. 40,000 acres for one data center. You do realize that that is twice the size of Manhattan. That's what people need to understand. So here's the biggest kicker. Okay? Here is the biggest kicker on this thing here. It's going to use, okay, more space and land than all of Manhattan does currently. Okay? But it's only going to provide, when it's done, 2,000 jobs. Now, if you know anything about Manhattan, Manhattan alone provides millions of jobs and uses a fraction of the amount of resources that's going to be required for this one military data center that is completely privately funded by individuals like Kevin O'Leary. And if you don't believe me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you specifically a video from Kevin O'Leary who speaks on this, because he's calling out the people that are living in that area, and he's trying to call them conspiracy theorists and take them, make them seem like they're crazy for speaking up on this in their own area. He doesn't even live there, ladies, and he's just an investor, by the way. But he's calling out the people that actually live there. Okay? That should concern you, because these are the people that are going to have access to the data. And if you watch the full interview that he did with Tucker Carlson, he's talking about, well, it's going to be people like Amazon and Google that are going to invest in and use this data centers. No, this is a military installation. So they're going to be tracking you, the American people, and connecting all of these data centers to track you, violating your first and all of your amendments, actually, violating all of your privacy. Which, by the way, last week or so was just signed into, where now the federal government can, at this current time, they can survey you without a warrant. Yep, that is true. Don't believe me? Look it up. Look it up. It is so true. It's bad, too, because now they can survey all of us at any time they want, and they're building more data centers to compute with, and they're saying that they're going to do this to compete with China. It's absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. They're saying they're doing this to compete with China. It doesn't make any sense, because China only has hundreds of data centers. Currently in the United States, we already have thousands. And we're about to build the largest one in the United States history. That is true. That is 110% true. Military installation. Yep. Box Elder County, Utah. Type that into your Google thing real quick. Go ahead and type that in real quick to your Google. Box Elder County, Utah. Stratos Project. Go ahead and see what you come up with. Because I guarantee it's not going to be what you want. That's the problem when it comes to truth, is once you start digging in the garden, you're going to start turning up weeds. And once you start turning up weeds, you got to start digging for more. You can't just leave those weeds in there. You'd be a fool to leave them weeds in there, wouldn't you? I'm just saying. I don't know everything. I just know a lot about a lot of things. You would be a fool to sit back and leave weeds in your garden. Anyways, let's take a look at what this Kevin O'Leary dude is talking about in reference to people, okay, who live in this area.
Strategies also sell operating inside of Utah. Gabby Finlayson. Gabby, what are you doing? And who's paying you?
Well,
how do I pause? All right, now we gotta go back. Sorry, y'all. I'm still learning how to use this on this screen here. And this is why we do it on a Saturday too, make it more chill too. So
Elevate strategy.
Shut up, fool. I know there's got there we go, full screen. Bada bing, bada boom. Ha-ha! I figured it out. Got it. Okay, here we go. I'm still learning. Bye-bye. Here we go. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Here is Kevin O'Leary and, of course, Gabby. He's going to be bringing up this name, Gabby. Well, Gabby's going to show up on this video because he's specifically calling her out, and she lives in the area where this is happening. He doesn't even live here. And you can see over here by his little flip-floppies. Little flip-flop. He over here trying to look all serious. Got a little cardboard cut out of himself. He trying to look all serious. This is what they show you on TV, the upper half right here. The upper half right here is what they show you on TV. Right here, right? This is the upper half. This is what they show you on TV. But down below is really what's happening. This little goofy look. I'm so tired of these cornball ass, goofy suit and tie wearing people trying to convince us like we can't read. That's the real. I'm so tired of these goofy people trying to act like we can't read. Let's take a look at what he's talking about with Gabby.
Strategies also a cell operating inside of Utah. Gabby Finlayson. Gabby, what are you doing? And who's paying you?
well, hi, hello, it's me, Gabby Finlayson. What am I doing? Apparently, we've reached the part of the Stratos data center journey where Kevin O'Leary goes on national Fox News to accuse us of being cells for the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah,
of course,
because at the
of
end
course.
Of the day, who would want us to stop building our electrical grid? Which adversary would want that? There's only one. It's China. So what I think is happening, and I got my guys to go a deep dig into the IP addresses, and here's what we found out. This is fascinating. Of
course, this billionaire dude has his own people to dig into Gabby and the people that are opposing this plan that he wants to build in their area, of course. So he has his people go digging into their information, and of course they come up with, of course, they work for China. I don't buy it. They live in Utah. I don't believe that they want this built in their area, taking their resources. Not that they work for China. Goofy ass dude.
Now 2 cells inside of Utah. Elevate strategies. Gabby Finlayson. Gabby, what are you doing? And who's paying you? So what I'm doing right now is, after getting this data, I'm calling out Gabby, operating in Utah.
So, hi Kevin, we are Elevate Strategies. This is Utah. You might not know it because you're from Canada. This is where we live. Before we get into anything too serious, this is the very scary, very intimidating man that is threatening us. We are not taking the criticism of anyone who is wearing flip-flops and a suit on national television. You know, it's not every day you get called out by first and last name on Fox News by a Canadian billionaire trying to ruin my state, but here we are. Kevin, are you okay? But after sitting with this for a moment, we decided to take it as a compliment because, first of all, how are these men scared of us?
Seriously, let's talk about that for a second too, all right? Men. First of all, stop. Just stop calling out women online. We got to stop that. Like men, for real. Like, stop arguing with women online. Just don't do it. It ain't cute. Like, men, and I've done it myself, I know. But, like, we gotta stop. We can't be arguing with women online. Like, come on now. But his first reaction is to call her and say that she's working for China just because she lives in the area where she doesn't want his project to go up to. That's the reality.
Have you met us? Hi. What are we talking about?
I want a forensic audit of who's funding their platforms. Who is it? So these are
I want to know who's funding you all the way. That's what you want to audit somebody else. Let's talk about you, flip-flops.
proxies for the Chinese government's my argument. And if they're not, because I want them to be able to...
Matter of fact, since he talking about China, some of the parts that he's using to make these parts for their turbines and stuff come from China anyway. This dude's so full of it.
And their name to Gabby. Come out, wherever you are.
Okay, Kevin, go ahead. Mr. Wonderful's Nancy Drew little detective agency, have at it, brother, because if we were Chinese operatives, we would be the worst operatives in the entire world. Someone alert Beijing that the payment portal to Jackie and I's Amex bills is somehow broken. As a reminder, we run Democratic campaigns in the state of Utah. If we were in this to be making money, we would be doing literally anything else. And you should know that because your job is to give small business owners advice. Yeah, you'd think that Kevin would understand the hellscape that is late-stage capitalism and consumerism that has led to you becoming a terrible, horrible billionaire who's trying to
Call it how it is, Gabby. Go on, tell them.
ruin our state. But if we're talking about audits, we should be auditing the Stratos Project. We should be auditing.
The Stratos Project needs to be audited by the people, by the way. By the people. All the available documents are on the county website.
All of the politicians that, I don't know, do you have property surrounding the Stratos Project? Or maybe do you have interests that you were changing the laws before this was created? Hypothetically. We're just saying we should maybe look into people that stand to make hundreds of millions of dollars off this project and...
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Box Elder County, the voting decision to make this project come to life was only 3 county commissioners. They only have 3 county commissioners in Box Elder County. So Kevin O'Leary and whoever is investing in this project only had to convince 3 county commissioners without any public opinion or vote for this 40,000 acre project to go by. So let me tell you, a quick steak dinner and a donation can really persuade 3 county commissioners without any public influence. And that is what happened. You can do the research. There's only 3 county commissioners in Box Elder County, and all 3 of them voted unanimously for this project to go through. So what does that mean? The people didn't have a chance.
Let's be so for real and so clear. That is not us. It is not us. But sure, let's do the thing that all men who are scared and have no actual facts do, which is accuse women who have a fully formed thought of being the problem and being Chinese operatives, just like me.
Period.
Like, what are we talking about? How are we making this video right now? Like, it's so unserious.
And they should thank me for this promotion I'm giving them right now. And let's shine the light of transparency on what you're doing, because they're also going after the leadership. Data Utah itself, these 2 cells.
Well, Kevin, you say that like it's a scandal, and it's not, because we are damn proud of the fact that we will continue to be shining a light on the corruption and insanity that is going on in this state, not just with this project, but with many others. We will continue to be here doing that work long after you've forgotten about Utah, because you don't actually care about what happens to the state.
Let's show the people of Utah you actually care about them.
Period.
We don't need Kevin to teach us to care about Utah, because we've been here, we were born here, we work here, we have sacrificed a lot of time, unpaid jobs, just to try and make this state better. We're the ones that actually love this state, and that is why we care about its future, and we care about this data center and what it could do to the future of our state. I think it's important that we get to this. So, out of frame, just behind Kevin O'Leary while he's doing this Fox News hit, is a life-size cardboard cutout of himself. And by life-size, we mean extremely short. Maybe that's how tall he really is. We don't know. As the old saying goes, behind every terrible man is a cardboard cutout
Lord.
of that same man. This is a real man, and he chose to wear this hat that says Utah National Security. When did they have these made? Was it a gift from Stuart Adams and Spencer Cox and Mike Schultz? I don't know. But please, Kevin, let us know where this dumbass hat came from. So we decided that we need to make a hat of our own, because we also have security concerns for the state of Utah.
Which you should. By the way, again, remember, this is 40,000 acres, ladies and gentlemen. 40,000 acres for this Kevin O'Leary private military installation in Box Elder County. Now, why am I saying that? 40,000 acres is bigger than Manhattan. It's only going to provide 2,000 jobs when this project is complete. And guess what? This project, they get a giant tax break, by the way. They're only providing 2,000 jobs. So it's double the size of Manhattan, which provides millions of jobs, uses a fraction of the resources that this one particular data center is currently going to use.
just slightly different. We are worried about the Great Salt Lake. We are worried about our carbon emissions. We are worried about our electrical grid. We are worried about the temperatures rising in our state. We care about the economic, environmental future of our state. So, if you would like to support the work that we are doing that apparently has these billionaires shaking in their boots, you can buy our hat, which now says Utah Nature Security. And those donations of just $30 will go to support the work that we're doing.
Girls. Go get one of their hats, people.
Which will go to us and Alliance for a Better Utah, the two organizations called out by Kevin O'Leary. So please support us because we might need lawyers. Right, the link's in our bio. Come out, Kevin, for the record. And I never thought I would have to say this in my entire adult life. We are not Chinese foreign operatives. Never happened. Being paid by the Chinese government.
That's terrible. That's so sad.
Bye, Kevin. Put your dogs away and keep my name out of your fucking mouth.
Woo! Let's go! She said, keep my name out your mother bleeping mouth. Oh, Lord have mercy. This is where we are, America. This is where we are, America. You have rich billionaires like Kevin O'Leary afraid of people like Gabby and her little friend there who are raising really good concerns on this project. That's the reality. That is the reality. So if you guys are not understanding what's going on, I encourage you guys to look into what is actually happening in different areas within your own community as well, county, city, state level, that actually matter. Because you do have options and choices, but you have to first start showing up. Do your research. It doesn't take very much research to understand what's at stake here. Okay? How much land is being used for this project? Well, ladies and gentlemen, a lot. 40,000 acres. That is not small time land. That is 40,000. That is bigger than Manhattan. Like, you guys got to listen. Like, that's bigger than Manhattan. I don't think you guys understand. I just don't think y'all understand. It's so bad. It is so bad, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, okay. Here you go. I'm gonna prove it to you because I did tell you guys that it's a military installation, right? And I don't want you guys to think I'm making that up because you saw Kevin O'Leary in that video, who is an investor in this project, right? So why would a private investor from Canada be investing in a United States military installation in the state of Utah, right? Like, is that even real, or is Tripp just making that up? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I wish I was making it up, but I'm not. Here it is again, the Stratos project. You guys can look this up because this is MIDA. MIDA, the Military Installation Development Authority. Yes, the Stratos project area in Box Elder County. Look at that. This is a large-scale energy generation and advanced data infrastructure for national security. So I have to ask, why would we want Kevin O'Leary and whoever else in charge of a military national security installation? Really, really concerning. It's very concerning. 40,000 acres of unincorporated Box Elder counties being planned in phases, continued state-required environmental review, blah, 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 blah. All right? Now, listen. They're going to try to beef this up and gaslight this the best way that they possibly can. All right? But their goal here is not to help you, the American people. Their first goal is to strengthen military readiness and national security by supporting energy resilience, compute power, and data storage for defense operations. In Utah, they're not doing this for you. They're going to track every single thing that you do. And they're trying to convince you that this is not going to create a burden on the county taxpayers because this privately funded and they're getting a tax break. And also, they're going to be provided 2,000 jobs. So you should be happy. That's what they're trying to say. You should be happy. We're providing jobs that you're going to be taxed on, by the way. But of those 2,000 jobs, it's going to be like a bunch of tech dudes and some maintenance guys, and that's it. And that comes from Kevin O'Leary's mouth. That's it. That is it. You got a couple tech dudes and some maintenance guys. That's your 2,000. That's it. 40,000 acres. You guys don't understand the severity of how big that's a whole town. That's town, you guys. You can make a town there. Okay, that's an entire town. They're going to try to convince you that it was one parcel available. No, that is not true. There were hundreds and hundreds of parcels available to make up that 40,000. 40,000 acres. Okay? And I know this because I went to their actual their paperwork when it comes to, and I'll pull that up here in just a second. I went to their paperwork actually. I had to because I wanted to know. I want to know the truth. I had to go to their paperwork. And the paperwork don't look good from my perspective. I could be wrong, but it doesn't look good from my perspective. The stuff that they're doing with the resources is absolutely insane to me. Because when you think of 40,000 acres and all of those parcels, people should be allowed to buy that area and use it for whatever they want to. But now they're going to have a completely different military installation design to survey all of us. And people are going to have increased gas and utility bills. What happened? Dang camera. Weird. Which one was it? That one? Yeah, it was that one. Stay put. You too. Stupid thing. So call itself being a smart camera and then want to mess up when I don't want it to. Anyways, I challenge you guys. I really do encourage you guys to look up the paperwork in reference to these projects, because at the end of the day, you guys have options, not just to look into what they think is good, but the things that they think are bad about this. All right. I don't think that private investors, billionaires, should be investing in a military installation that they can use, but we can't. And they're going to be surveying American people. That's the problem I have a serious issue with. I really do. I have the letter here from the Box Elder County Commission, actually. This was signed on the 4th of May. I'll show you guys right here. Boom. This is from the 4th of May, 2026. And this right here is really, they're invested in this, you guys. There's only 3 county commissioners, okay? They're really invested into this. But the Military Installation Development Authority is a Utah state authority, blah, 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 blah. And MIDA is in the process of creating the Stratos Project area to include the Utah National Guard and Hill Air Force Base, military land, and private land located in Box Elder County. Woo! So the MIDA also requires that 100% of the landowners to consent, and all of the landowners have also agreed to consent that their land being included in the Stratos Project area. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. They bought all that land and they're going to use it for surveying American citizens. And they're going to say it's for national security. So if you're wondering who the chair is, it is Tyler Vincent. He is the county commission chairman for Box Elder County. You guys can reach out to their office, by the way. I encourage you guys to do so because they are the ones that are responsible for this. There's 3 commissioners that sit in Box Elder County. Okay? 3 commissioners. They're the ones that are responsible for allowing this to take place in the United States, in Utah. They're the ones that are responsible. All right. Now, you guys should this should encourage you to look into your own county and who your commissioners are and what's going on. Okay. That it should. It should. Because I guarantee many of you guys didn't even know the commissioners are the ones who are in charge of a lot of things in the county. It's the truth. It's the truth. And I'm sure some of that stuff is boring. Hell, I don't like it, but at the end of the day, we have to look into these things. Yep, I was correct. There are 3 current Box Elder County commissioners that are tied to the Stratos project, and they are Boyd Bingham, Lee Perry, and Tyler Vincent, who happens to be the chair. All right, this is the truth. These are the people that are in charge of this project. Okay, and I'm going to bring them up. Boom, there they are. Tyler Vincent, County Commissioner Tyler Vincent. More information. Let's see about this guy, huh? Tyler Vincent. Where's your little picture at, bro? You ain't got a picture? I want to know what you look like, bro. Well, there's his phone number. There's his business phone number and his email. If you guys want to email Tyler. Hey, Tyler, if you get this, if you watch this, I want to know. Why'd you sell out, bro? Tyler? Lee? Mr. Lee Perry, why'd you sell out, bro? You done sold out your people, bro. Why you sold out for $1? I want to know. Boyd? Come on now. Where we at? Here we are, Commissioner. Where Boyd? You ain't exempt, Boyd. County Commission, huh? Let's see. Hey, look, there's the office. You see, these people done sold out. There's their information. If y'all want to screenshot it and send it to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Back the video up if you need to. But these are the people that are responsible for this 40,000 acre data center. You guys can still send them emails as a part of America, because this is going to impact the entirety of the United States. This is not just a Utah issue. So I would challenge you guys to reach out to the Box Elder County elected officials, as I just highlighted right there, the Box Elder County elected officials. You can Google that itself, okay? And it'll take you directly here, and it'll tell you who's on there, and you guys can reach out to them. I challenge you to do it. I really do. I think you really should. And that should take you down the path of wondering what the heck is going on in my own state, in my own county, and what are the things that I've missed out on by not being involved. It's just an option. It's just an option, because I think once you start digging in the garden, especially if you start digging in something like this, I think you're going to be interested in what's actually going on in your own neck of the woods. What do you guys think? Because there are some wild things that are going on here in my neck of the woods where I live in Washington State's all kinds of tore up. It is tore up from the floor up. All the way wrong. Everything here is just wrong. Just straight wrong. And it's bad. It's so bad. What the heck is going on in the computer? It's so bad that all of the wrong things in Washington are the things that are highlighted and considered okay. And if you have integrity and do good, apparently that's bad. It's just all wrong. It just be all wrong here. All of the leadership is just tore up from the floor up too. It don't matter what side of the coin they're on. They could be left, right, Democrat, Republican. It don't matter. They just all wrong. They just tore up. And the majority of them, you got to ask the question. I think it's a solid question to ask, too. Like, if Jesus was here right now, would he start flipping tables? Would he flip tables right now? That's the real question. If he walked into your house right now, would he start flipping tables? If you can leave tonight's episode or live stream with that, if you can leave with that, would he leave your house with the table flipped or intact? And that might make you get on the right track. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what the struggles are in your own lives. I just ask that if you can consider yourself, take an outside perspective maybe. If Christ walked into the room this very moment, would he flip tables or would they be intact? That's what I want to know. And I think it's a fair assessment. I think it's a fair assessment to ask, especially if we're asking ourselves. Well, here are your commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. Your Box Elder County commissioners. This right here, Mr. Boyd Bingham. Hey, Boyd. I want to know why you sold out, bro. Oh, look, it takes us right back to his page. Of course it does. This is Lee Perry. Mr. Lee Perry, your other county official there, who's fucking us and letting this $40,000 acre, Mr. Tyler Vincent, that must be Tyler over here. Yeah, that must be Tyler Vincent. Why'd you sell out, bro? That's what I want to know. Those are the county commissioners in Box Elder County, Utah, ladies and gentlemen. They sold us out. Largest data center in the country. Now what? Look at them. Look at them. They done sold out. It's gonna cost over $1 billion. This is insane. Hundreds of Utah residents flooded the Box Elder County Fairgrounds to hear discussion. Many carried yellow signs that read, "No data center." In response to shouting and chanting, the crowd of protesters, after many attempts by the county commissioner Tyler Vincent to calm the crowd down, "For hell's sake, grow up," Brigham said. After half an hour of discussion, the commission walked out, choosing to broadcast the rest of the consideration in a private room away from the crowd. Before the vote commenced, Vincent read a statement. "I just want to start off by saying there is no one in this commission or any other county electric." This is electric. That's what it says. It says electric official. That's what it says. I just want to make sure I didn't read that wrong. It says electric official. Just so you guys are aware. Okay, I just want to start off by saying there is no one on this commission or any other electric official that is going to benefit from this project, financially or otherwise, Vincent said. Why would you even say that? Why would you even say that if you didn't have nothing to hide? Why are you going to start off by telling us that you ain't financially benefiting from this? Did we even say that you was? Regardless if you financially benefit or not, You still sold out? You sold all that land to them to data freaking harvest us? The proposed Stratos project is located in an unincorporated section of Hansel Valley, Utah. The development hosted that there would focus on a large-scale energy generation, something many Utahns worry will increase taxes, drain water resources, and endanger wildlife. That's because data center developers are increasingly utilizing freshwater resources to prevent overheating. According to the Environmental and Energy Study Institute, large hyperscale data centers can go through 5 million gallons a day. Reports suggest that there have not been a definitive environmental study conducted. Opponents like January's Walker and a U.S. Congress candidate for the Utah's 4th District are also worried about local wildlife like bees. Bees are beings of electromagnetism, and if data centers go up, it messes with the electromagnetic fields. So the bees are going to die. On top of that, the proposed data center is projected to run 9 gigawatts of power in Utah. That's far exceeding the current largest data center in the United States, which exhausts 3.9 gigawatts. Despite those numbers, Vincent said the data center will not raise electricity prices. It's near a natural gas pipeline that will allow the site to produce its own power and not put an additional strain on the local grid or increase electricity prices for residents and businesses. Bingham said and added his own sentiment. If I vote no, this project could still move forward using different means to accomplish their goal. If I vote yes, there are still major issues which we are all concerned about. Researching this, many of these will be addressed on other agencies. This project will comply with all fair water and land regulations. The meeting concluded with unanimous decision in favor of the resolution 26-11, in which the county provides consent to MIDA to begin construction of the data center. The project is expected to take 10 years. That is wild. Several meeting attendees stayed on the fairgrounds to protest the decision. Protest organizer Thor Dorosh with Ogden is Invisible condemned the verdict. This was a travesty, Dorosh said, and there is no democracy in this decision, and we should vote, but also that we need to organize. According to the Utah Environment of Environmental Quality, MIDA has yet to submit applications for their various permits. When they do, draft permits will be subject to 30-day public comment periods and a public hearing if requested. That means the people need to challenge every step of the way when it comes to this project. Every step of the way. And that includes projects at your own home, ladies and gentlemen, because things like this happen when people don't step in during the process. So there's still a process that's going on, and I need you guys to be a part of it. I'm going to draft up some statements and comments to them, and I don't even live there, but it's quite concerning. I've given the information. You can play the video back and get the people's contact information and draft your comment to them as a United States citizen. Because this is setting the standard for the country. This is the largest one in the country, so this is setting the standard for the entire country. And when something like that gets voted down by a couple commissioners like that, it's really easy to convince them to all vote for this, regardless of whether it's going to be easy now or harder later. That's the reality. And it shouldn't come to that. It should always come down to whether the people believe that they want this in their community or not. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony Triplett. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to wrap it up there, leaving you guys with looking into these actual projects. I will see you guys here soon. We're looking for Tuesday. Hopefully Tuesday everything works out. So until then, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Becca, thank you for holding it down. It's time for us to get into the next steps. So with that being said, it's been fun. It's all in a day's work. We will see you guys soon.